Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we're going to tackle a topic that sounds complicated but is absolutely crucial for anyone building a business in India, the law. But forget those dense, dusty textbooks. Think of this as your friendly, practical guide to getting started, whether you're just sketching an idea on a napkin or you're already up and running.
So let me ask you this. What's the real difference between a brilliant idea that just fizzles out and a brilliant idea that turns into a successful business? A lot of the time, it's not even the idea itself. It's the foundation it's built on. And that foundation, well, it's all about knowing the rules of the game. It's about understanding the law.
To make this all feel a bit more real, we're going to follow the journey of a fictional entrepreneur. We'll watch as she goes from that first aha moment to a fully operational company. And at every step, you'll see how the law isn't some roadblock, but actually a powerful tool that helps her build, protect, and grow her vision. Okay, let's dive in. Our entrepreneur, she has her amazing idea. What's the very first, most foundational legal decision she has to make? Well, it's choosing the blueprint for her business, its legal structure. Now, a lot of people just start as a sole proprietor, which is easy, but it leaves you totally exposed. That's why these two options are often the way to go. The magic words here are separate legal entity and limited liability. What that means is the business is legally separate from you. It's like building a firewall. If the business gets into trouble, your personal assets, your house, your car are safe. So which one to choose? Well, an LLP is more flexible with fewer rules to follow, which is great when you're just starting. A private company, on the other hand, has more compliance, sure, but it's the structure investors know and trust. So if you're planning to raise money down the line, that's something to think about.
All right, she's picked a structure. Now it's time to actually do business. She needs to work with suppliers, maybe hire a freelancer, land her first customer. Every single one of those relationships is built on promises. And in business, you need those promises to be rock solid. That's where the Indian Contract Act of 1872 comes in.
The official definition looks pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. See, an agreement is just a promise between two people, but a contract is a promise that the law will actually back up. That little phrase, enforceable by law, is what gives your deals real teeth. It turns a friendly handshake into a commitment that matters.
So what does it take to make a contract legit? You need all of these ingredients. First, you need a clear agreement. Someone makes an offer, someone else accepts it. Simple. Second, consideration. This just means it can't be a one-way street. Both sides have to get something of value. Third, capacity. Everyone involved has to be legally able to make a deal. Fourth, and this is a big one, free consent. Nobody was forced, tricked, or lied to. And finally, the whole point of the deal, the lawful object, has to be legal, of course. A little tip, always try to get it in writing.
And all of this leads to a fundamental truth you just can't get around in business. This old Latin saying basically means ignorance of the law is no excuse. You can't get out of a bad deal by saying, oops, I didn't know the rules. As an entrepreneur, you're expected to know the game you're playing.
So our entrepreneur's got her contracts handled and her product is ready to go. It's time to sell. But the legal world of buying and selling has gone through a massive transformation. We've moved from an age of buyer beware to a new era where, really, the consumer is king.
For a very long time, the rule of thumb was caveat emptor, or let the buyer beware. This put all the pressure on the customer. If you bought something and it was defective, well, that was kind of your problem for not checking it more carefully before you handed over your money.
But that is so not the world we live in anymore. The Consumer Protection Act of 2019 completely flipped the script. Today, that responsibility sits firmly with the seller. The law now holds you, the business owner, accountable for the quality, the safety, and the honesty of everything you sell. And this is what that accountability looks like in the real world. Your customers have these legally protected rights. The right to safety means your product can't be dangerous. The right to be informed means you have to be honest in your marketing. The right to choose promotes fair competition. The right to be heard means you actually have to listen to complaints. And the right to seek redressal means if things go wrong, they have a way to get it fixed, a refund, a replacement, you name it. Your business has to respect all of these. Okay, our entrepreneur's business is growing. She's creating things that are incredibly valuable, but you can't really hold them. Things like her brand name, her website design, maybe even a clever new process she invented. How does she stop someone else from just swooping in and copying all her hard work? The answer is intellectual property rights. Just think of this as your basic IP toolkit. You've got different tools for different jobs. A trademark protects your brand's identity, your logo, your name, your slogan.
Copyright is for your original creative stuff, the code behind your app, the articles on your blog. And a patent, well, that's for a genuine, new invention. Nailing these down is how you build a brand that has real defensible value over the long term.
All right, business is humming along, payments are coming in, but every business owner knows that little knot of anxiety you get waiting for a big payment to clear. What happens when it doesn't? Let's talk about the dreaded bounce check.
First off, let's just get the fancy term out of the way. A check is a type of negotiable instrument. All that means is it's a signed document that carries a promise to pay. And in India, the law takes that promise very, very seriously.
And here's the kicker. Under Section 138 of the law, a bounce check isn't just an awkward administrative issue. No, it's considered a criminal offense. The person who wrote that check can be fined up to double the amount it was written for.
And if a massive fine wasn't enough to get your attention, there's more. The person who issued that bad check could also face jail time, up to 2 years. It's that serious. It's a clear signal of how critical financial trust is to the entire business ecosystem.
So, as we come to the end of our entrepreneur's journey, what's the big picture here? We've seen the law shape everything from how she started her company to how she deals with her customers. It can feel like a confusing web of rules, but I want you to reframe how you think about it.
This is it. This is the main takeaway. Please don't see the law as a hurdle put there to slow you down or trip you up. See it as a guardrail. It's the structure that keeps your business safely on the road, protects you from common mistakes, and gives you the stable framework you need to build something that can actually last.
At the end of the day, the law provides the trust and protection that allows a great idea to become a great business. It turns a simple promise into a binding contract and a clever invention into a priceless asset. It creates a stable playing field where your hard work can truly pay off. So the final question isn't about what the law restricts you from doing, it's about what it empowers you to do. Now that you know the rules of the game, what are you going to build?